Good day everybody, Old Lemmer here. So today I'm gonna show you one interesting project thanks to Mr. Filippor and to BC-250 Discord community. We have new governor tool which is more advanced than Oberon governor because it can continuously maintain the target frequency and do adjustments. Oberon governor is only working at maximum preset speed or when idles at minimum. So there are only two set points, two frequencies and voltages. In cyan-skillfish-governor there are more advanced functions. It can control the speed of the GPU in broader range. As you can see, there are multiple save points, and depending the conditions set, it can adjust and hover between these set points. For example, one of the set points is temperature, so you can set up temperature. It can be any value you choose, and the program will push the frequency settings and voltages until it reaches the temperature, and in case the temperature is exceeded, it will not jump directly down to the minimum value like Oberon governor. It will slowly reduce the frequency and voltage in order to maintain the set temperature. Also, this governor is directly communicating with the chip, and it can go over the maximum set limits of 2230 megahertz like Oberon. It can actually go unlimited. It can go as much as your cooling and your silicon allows you, meaning that by adding other save points, we have already few people in the community who managed to reach 2700 megahertz on the chip if you have a good cooling. I want to stress that having a very good cooling is essential if you're gonna use this tool, because you can damage your silicon. So I will strongly advise you to make sure that your cooling is adequate before you pick up some extreme values. You have to use it at your own risk. So please be wise and don't push too hard your board, because you may damage it eventually. So the range, as per community, the chip can work with this governor as low as 350 megahertz, which in my case I didn't use. I was setting the lowest set point at 1000, and the maximum you can test and find what is the maximum of your chip. Like this, you can really find the limits and tune the GPU to its maximum performance, or to find some sweet spot when it's working efficiently with not high voltage but sufficient frequency to satisfy your needs. Okay, so I'm gonna now show you step by step how to install and how to set it up, and I wish you good luck. Please don't burn your chip. Okay, so now let's install the new governor. For this, first, if you're already using the Oberon, you have to stop it using the systemctl stop Oberon governor program, and to disable the service so it will not start on boot. So this is the command systemctl disable Oberon governor. After that, we are going to enable the corporate repository from user filippor, because this is his project which he shared. This is the command which you have to enter. After that we need to enter command to clean the metadata. And after cleanup we're gonna refresh metadata from all repositories, including new corporate repository. I'm gonna include all the commands in the description to the video, so you can copy paste them once you're doing the same process. Then next we are going to apply the command to install the governor program, following the command you can see on the screen right now. After the installation is completed, we need to reboot our system, and what is important, the governor will not run automatically after you boot, because you need still to adjust the config file and to find save points for your board. So like this you won't have a risk of crashing the system. Because I discovered that the default settings suggested they are not generally applicable for all boards, and after installing governor my board was crashing, so I was receiving a black screen because the settings in the default config were not applicable, they were not compatible with my board. So the filippor was kind to adjust his program that it's not enabling itself upon installation. Now we have a chance to adjust the config file, test everything, and only after we are sure that our board runs well with the settings we pick, the system can be enabled and we can use the governor safely. So the first thing after the reboot is to locate and adjust the config file. You can see on the screen the location of the file, and these are the settings which were chosen by the author by default, but with my board it was not working, so after reboot I was getting the black screen. So the filippor adjusted his program in such a way that it's not starting automatically, so you have chance to change the settings and you can actually test before you can make it auto start on boot. So now you will see my config file, which I already I copied and replaced the original config with my numbers, and they are working fine on my board and I can later enable it. So as you see, I choose a little bit different temperature and I started from 1000 megahertz. The voltages which I picked was tested by me before, so I think these settings are a little bit more applicable to generally to other boards. And as you see my last 4 entries, this is already extreme overclock, which you may apply at your own risk. So for a moment the new governor is not running and the old oberon governor we disabled. So now I'm gonna start the furmark just to show you that the GPU is running at its stock 1500 megahertz speed. So now I'm starting the furmark and you see that GPU frequency is 1500 megahertz. So it is not active. Now I'm gonna enter the command to start the new governor. At this stage, actually, if something will go wrong, if your system will crash or you will receive some artifacts, simply by rebooting your system you will come back to the stock value, because the new governor is not yet enabled for starting on boot. So you enter usual bazzite password, and now I'm gonna again start the furmark and show you new frequencies. So you see now the base frequency immediately went to the lowest value in the config file, and while the GPU is loaded it goes to my maximum highest value, which I picked as 2400 megahertz, but you need to be careful because, as you see, I very quickly reach 85 degrees preset, and now the governor is actually throttling slightly the speeds in order to maintain the preset value, and you see that the speed is dropping slowly step by step. As soon as I restart it, it goes again to full speed, and once it's reaching my preset of 85 degrees, it throttles. These 2400 megahertz require me to use more than 1.1 volts, meaning that the heat generation is significant. Of course, Furmark is loading the GPU at its maximum, but in the game you may reach this frequency without having such a huge temperatures, which is great. So you see that the governor works well. Before I recorded the video, I tested it, so now I'm gonna enable the governor with the config file, which I carefully tested step by step before doing so. After this command, when you enable the governor, it will start on boot. So if you made a mistake and didn't test it properly, you may receive a crashes upon startup, and then you will have to roll back your system and do the changes and enable it again. So I will restart the system right now and show you that it's already automatically starting and it's functioning well. Okay, the system is restarted, and I'm gonna now again start the Furmark to confirm that everything works as expected. As you see now, the GPU speed is going automatically, and the new governor works very well. So please make sure that you have a good cooling, that preferably if you are crazy enough to have liquid cooling installed on BC board, that's gonna be the best solution if you want to squeeze maximum out of it. Otherwise, if you're using air cooler same as me, you will need to at least replace your thermal interface. I put PTM-7950, which helped me to reduce my temperatures by 6-7 degrees, so I can benefit from new frequencies. Another very important topic is that at this overclock state, the power consumption is reaching 30 amps from the power supply. This is around 360 watt, meaning that you need to make sure that your power supply is strong enough, and I also suggest that you check and do some work on your power connector, because I was worried if my PCI Express single power connector will not melt, so I added two Molex Microfit 3.0 connectors to the sockets available in order to share the load to sustain high current. So generally this project is not for everybody. You need to think properly and prepare before going to extreme overclocking. As for results of performance and feasibility of this overclock, on the left side you can see my overclock at 2.2 GHz on the GPU, superposition 4.2 thousand points. On the right side, this is 2.4 GHz overclock, result is 4.5, and I was managing only to obtain it after I changed my thermal interface to PTM-7950, because otherwise it was throttling so much that there was no any benefit. And in the community there are few projects when people installed liquid cooling on this board, and they obtain scores even higher than 4,500, because the temperatures are much lower when you use the liquid cooling, and there is a bigger potential for overclock of our board. And at the end of the video I'm gonna paste my benchmark of Returnal, which is a GPU heavy game, but you can see the temperatures of the board when running the benchmark and the overclock of CPU at 385 GHz and GPU 2.4 GHz. You could see in this test that temperatures are high, but they are still within acceptable limits. However, I don't see the more room for overclock above 2.4 GHz at my current setup, and I'm considering in the future to try to install a liquid cooling system in order to discover the limits of this board and create some more content for you guys. So meantime, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope this video is helpful. See you as usually in the next videos. Bye bye.